Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shamin Arif and I am a student of Rehan College as a facilitator.
Hey, what's up?
Hi Maya.
Take care.
What is effective listening and why is it important?
It's basically listening with the intent to understand, not just the intent to reply. When you're actually tuned in, not just waiting for your turn to speak, it makes people feel seen and valued. It changes the whole dynamic of a conversation. Do you feel like you're a good listener?
How is hearing different from listening?
Wait, a fish and listening? I'm guessing you're asking about the difference between hearing and listening, right? One is a silverfish that tastes great smoked, and the other is a skill used to actually hear people. Not exactly a similar category.
Why do many people struggle to listen carefully?
Honestly, our brains just move way faster than people talk. We're usually already 3 steps ahead, planning our response while the other person is still on their first sentence. Plus, there's the noise, phones, stress, just the mental clutter that makes it hard to actually stay present. Do you think it's more about distraction or just impatience?
How can effective listening improve communication skills?
It builds a level of trust that you can't get any other way. When you're actually listening, you catch the subtext and the things people aren't saying out loud, which lets you respond to what they actually mean instead of just the words. It basically turns a one-sided exchange into a real connection.
What are the qualities of a good listener?
Patience is a huge one. Being genuinely curious about the other person and staying open-minded. A good listener also knows how to hold space without rushing in to fix things or judge immediately. It's as much about the energy you bring to the conversation as the words you use.
How can listening build a strong relationship?
When someone feels like you actually get them, it creates this deep sense of security.
Why is contact important during conversation?
It's the clearest way to show someone you're actually present. It signals that they have your full attention and that you're not scanning the room for something more interesting.
How can body language show active listening?
The little things, like a slight lean in or a simple nod, do a lot of the heavy lifting. Uncrossing your arms and keeping an open posture tells the other person you're receptive. It's basically a silent way of saying, I'm with you.
What are the common barriers to effective listening?
Mental noise is a big one. Things like anxiety or just being preoccupied with your own to-do list. And you've got external stuff, loud environments, notifications popping up on your phone, or even just a bad mood that colors how you're hearing things. It's a lot to fight against, just to stay in the moment.
How can distraction affect listening skill?
I'm assuming you mean distraction. It just completely breaks the flow. When your attention snaps to something else, you don't just miss the words, you miss the emotional beat of what the person is saying. It makes it almost impossible to build that real connection we were talking about.
Why is patience important while listening to others?
Because not everyone processes their thoughts at the same speed. Some people need a moment to find the right word or work through a feeling, and if you jump in too early, you shut them down. Patience gives them the space to actually finish their thought without feeling rushed.
What is active listening and how can we practice it?
Active listening is basically taking listening from a passive act to an intentional one. It's about using everything you've got, your words, your body language, your attention, to show the other person you're fully engaged. To practice it, try reflecting back what you heard. Instead of jumping to a solution, you could say something like, "It sounds like you're feeling X because of Y," and let them confirm or expand. It's a game changer.
How can asking questions improve understanding?
It fills in it fills in the gaps instead of assuming you know where they're going with a story. A quick question lets them clarify and shows you're actually paying attention. It keeps you from misinterpreting things and keeps the conversation moving in the right direction.
Why should we avoid interrupting other while they speak?
Because it's essentially telling the other person that your thought is more important than theirs. It breaks their train of thought and often makes them feel like they're not actually being heard. It's a quick way to kill the flow of a real connection.
How can effective listening reduce misunderstanding?
It catches them before they spiral. When you're listening closely, you notice the moment someone's tone shifts or they use a word that doesn't quite fit. Lets you pause and clarify right then and there, instead of both of you walking away from the conversation thinking two completely different things.
What role does respect play in good listening?
It's the foundation. Listening is basically a form of respect in action. When you give someone your full attention, you're telling them that their perspective and their time are valuable, regardless of whether you agree with them. It's hard to really listen if you don't respect the person speaking.
How can listening skill help teamwork?
It's a superpower in every part of life. In a job, it makes you a better collaborator and leader. In friendships, it's how you build that deep trust. Even in a conflict, just being heard can lower the tension in the room immediately. Basically makes you the person people actually want to talk to.
How can students improve their listening abilities?
For starters, try treating it like a challenge. Focus on one thing, like not interrupting or trying to catch the specific emotion behind a teacher's point rather than trying to be perfect at everything. Using a notebook to jot down key phrases can also help keep the mind from drifting.
How can technology and mobile phone affect listening?
They're basically the ultimate attention vampires. Even a phone sitting face up on the table sends a signal that something more urgent could pop up at any second. It creates this divided attention where you're physically there, but mentally you're just hovering over your notifications. It's hard to really dive deep into a conversation when you're subconsciously waiting for a buzz in your pocket.
Why is listening important in leadership?
It's how you actually find out what's working and what isn't. A leader who just talks is just a boss, but a leader who listens actually understands the needs and strengths of their team. It builds loyalty because people feel seen and supported, not just managed. Plus, it's the only way to get the real truth about a problem instead of the polished version people give when they're afraid to speak up.
How can effective listening improve problem solving?
It lets you get the full picture before you start trying to fix it. Most people rush to the solution, but if you actually listen, you might find the root cause is completely different from what it seemed at first. It keeps you from solving the wrong problem.
What is reflecting listening and why is it useful?
Reflective listening is basically acting like a mirror for the other person. You repeat or paraphrase what they just said in your own words to make sure you actually understood it. It's great because it proves you're paying attention, and it often helps the other person realize something about their own thoughts just by hearing them played back. Do you use that technique often?
How can listening carefully improve emotional intelligence?
It's the fastest way to build empathy. When you listen closely, You're not just hearing words, you're picking up on the tone and the emotion behind them. That's how you start recognizing patterns and how people feel, which is a huge part of emotional intelligence. It basically trains your brain to be more attuned to the human side of things.
Thank you.
Anytime. It was a great chat. Talk soon.